Hey, I'm Seth with Land the House. My wife and I have been looking to upgrade our walk-in closet, and so we're going to be using the Modular Closets system. This is not a sponsored video. We've paid for everything that we're going to be putting into this closet. The first thing we did was went on to the Modular Closets website and typed in our closet dimensions here and then started designing the things that we want. I personally went on there and thought that it was a bit difficult to move things around. But my wife got on there and quickly learned what to do and found out exactly what she wanted for our closet here. So after that was done, we decided that we wanted this to be blue. And when I say we, I mean my wife picked out the color that she wanted for our closet. And so now it's up to me to take everything out and then start painting in here. So let's go ahead and do that now. And 900 pairs of shoes later, I have everything out of the closet. Now I do want to remove the wire shelves that are up here. And so let me go ahead and do that. And I think to save you some time, I'm just going to snap those done. All right, looking nice. Went ahead and got all of those shelves out of here. And it's very echoey and bare. I also removed the door over here. So that's gonna be very helpful to have more room over here. Now I will have to come back now and patch all of these holes. As you can see, some of these were quite large, about a 1/4 inch there, and then up here as well. Just gonna hit these with a little sandpaper. After sanding, I'm just using some of this one-time spackling. I am not good at sheetrock repair, but we're just gonna call that right there good. I've given the spackling about 30 minutes to set up, and now it's time for painting. My wife has picked out something called Blue Ice Age. It's the Gildan brand. And so let's go ahead and begin painting these walls. Now I know you're here for a closet system, so I'm going to time lapse this real quick, and whenever it's done, we'll be ready to install the closet system. The Estes delivery truck is just leaving. Whoa, I was not expecting this many boxes. Check this out. That is a lot of boxes, and they are all heavy. There's more over here. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun getting these together. Okay, back to painting. I just finished up the painting. It looks really good in here. The holes that were made to hold those shelves are pretty much not visible anymore, and it looks really good. Time to get to work installing the actual Modular Closets system. I've got a printout which has each component that will be in individual boxes, and it's gonna be probably several days worth of work, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Here are the tools that I'm supposed to need. I've got a square bit, a 3/32 drill bit, tape measure, level. I've got screwdriver, X-Acto knife, stud finder, and a pin. And then probably most importantly, the how-to placement here. It also came with a little book showing how to install each cabinet, but I'll have to see if I need that at a later point. The first unit I'm going to install is the DH19.5. It is a double hanging cabinet, and I've got it right here. It's going to go over here in this corner. So I think what I'm going to do is show you how I install each one of these components, and if there's a duplicate or more, I will get those done without you. Quick disclaimer, never done this before, so if I mess up, I just will show it for you to learn and hopefully not make that mistake. I'm using my box here as my work surface. I'm going to use one of these panels to start off with. Flip this over so it's easy to access all of the holes. Here's our hardware. I'm gonna open that real quick. These 4 pieces are what hang the clothes on. So we'll set those aside. And we want to use this right here. All right, this system uses cam locks and these screws, and it also has dowels which are pre-assembled into each of the side pieces there. So I'm going to use a drill on a low setting, and I'm going to take some of these long shaft screws here and get them installed onto the board. Be careful or this stuff will strip out. Okay, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. The other panel is just like this. Let me do it real quick. I now have the left and right sides done. It's time to put the top and bottom on. Now for the top, you want to have the cam lock holes facing up. Let's see, that's this side. Now that I have the top pressed onto those pegs, I'm going to use these cam locks. And they just go in here from the top with a screwdriver. You turn and cinch them down. Nice and easy. Next, I've got this little piece. Now you can turn it in multiple directions, but you want to make sure that the ugly side is facing up here and that the cam lock holes are in the back. So the bottom portion is very similar. You just want to make sure that the ugly side's facing back and that the cam lock holes are facing down, so it's just prettier that way. This is the left side. It's going to just fit onto the dowels, hopefully. And now there are 4 of these. Just want to make sure the U-shaped cut portion is facing towards the ground. I'm using a 3/32 drill bit to put a little hole right there where it's supposed to go. I have 2 cabinets done and then decided to hang them. Realized there's going to be a small issue. Let me show you what that is. This wall has 24-inch on center studs. So I measured up to 7 foot, made my mark here, and realized that this cabinet, being 19.5 inches, is not going to fit onto stud anywhere. And then the next one over would have a stud, but barely. So anyway, I think what I'm going to have to do is a rail system up here. So I'm going to cut some 3/4 inch plywood and basically mount that along here to cover the wall. And then I'll have several screws into studs, and that way I can even just center my screws on my cabinets here. So let's go out to the shop and cut some plywood real quick. I cut strips of OSB to 3 inches, and I'm going to just be mounting this up here on the wall, and I want to make sure it's level. So I've got a level with me also. It's too far away. I've also marked out at 7 foot height. And I just want to find studs and get this level and screwed into the wall. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, I got the first one installed without you just for trial and error, and it was not the easiest thing, but it looks pretty good. It would have been nice not to have this gap back here, but I don't see any other way of installing this without that. So as you can see, I probably should have come down up there a little bit, but this is still hidden down here and it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next one installed with you here, and that is this one. So the process is to take a drill with a 3/32 bit, and you just come in where you want to drill in, and that's where the screws are going to be. So in this case, I'm going to do the same where I just put one about here and then one about here to support that. I think it's going to be pretty good. Same both top and bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to come up in here and move over about this far. I better pull this away from the wall before I drill a hole in there. One thing I need to point out is that the cams on the back, those cam locks, they are right here, and you don't want to drill into those. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. I'm gonna get these started so that it's easier to get these installed when they're up on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna keep my impact driver right over here so it's easy to get to. Pick this up, hold it in place where I can feel the bottom is level with this bottom rail. It would definitely be easier to have somebody help hold this up. That's a good example of why. After I got the top screwed in, I just stepped down here and did the same down to the bottom, and it is good. A little off on my rail, but I don't think anybody's gonna notice that. So the next step is to install the drawers down below, and it will have compartments up top. So we're gonna be stepping away from this design here real quick. And the one that I built over here is a 24-inch, or 25-inch, and it will go on the very end down there once the middle section has been installed. It's the next day. I toiled through the night and got everything done. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I sat on the couch and watched The Big Bang Theory. But I did get this one tall cabinet installed. It's got 2 shelves, and then down here is gonna be drawers for clothing. And I've actually got one more that's gonna go right over here, and I figured that I would do that one with you. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So every one of the tall cabinets starts off the same. It's got the side panels, which has just these 2 in the box. And then you find one of these, which is a tower shelving, and that has everything else in it. So it's got the bottom with the support piece back there, and then the middle shelf and the top shelf as well. Now, as I was hanging this by myself, it was not easy, and I got it off a little bit. You can see the crack in here. So there's actually, let's see if I can get you up here. There is a bracket that I installed to help bring these together. And so whenever I install the next one, I'm going to be using clamps to hold these to the previous one whenever I actually screw things in, and it should do a lot better. So anyway, let's go ahead and start off with this one, and then we will get it hung up on the wall. I've unboxed the 2 side panels. One is here and one is here. And then the other box had all of the other material. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this. It's just like the others as far as putting the screws in here with the peg pieces. So anyway, I'm gonna go pretty quick so you can just watch a time lapse. Now that I have this unit built, I want to use my stud finder to find out where to place my pre-drill holes. So I'm just going to I've got the cabinet lined up with where it's going to go against the other one. And it should be somewhere right in here. Yep, so right in there is where I want to do my pre-drill. I'll go ahead and get this screw started in here. Over here on this side, there is not a stud, so I just want to pick a place and pre-drill so that the screw will at least go into my rail that I've installed up here. The plan now is to hold this up by myself, put a clamp on it so it stays close to this one, and then use my impact driver to get both of those top screws installed. So I think I'm gonna put impact driver here, and then get this ready right up here, and we'll see how well this works doing this by myself. Okay. Put the other one. That's 2 clamps. Now I gotta see if I can get my tool in there to get it attached to the wall. That dropped down about just enough there. turns out those things are heavy. So I went ahead and got the 25.5-inch cabinet on that side as well. So this whole wall is done with picking things up, which is nice. So next I'm going to be installing the drawers that go in here, and this side will be done. And then over here we've got a little cabinet up top, and then a full size over here, and then this whole wall still has to be done. So I think we will work on some of these drawers real quick, and then I will get everything else done and give you the big reveal after all of that is complete. The drawers come together pretty quick, as you can see in the time-lapse footage. There is one little mistake here where it was cracked from the factory, but it seems to be structurally okay. We're going to put knobs on here, different from the ones that they provided. It seems to be a pretty good drawer. It's deep enough. The only thing that I would have liked different is the screws they provided. They just provided 2 per side, and I'd like to see at least 2 more per side. So I may come back, let's see, where are those? Here's one extra. I may come back and put a couple more of those in. I have to purchase them somewhere. Just so whenever one of the kids is hanging on here, or I put a lot of heavy stuff in a drawer, it's not going to pull out. But anyway, you can still slightly see the support rail back in there, but you won't be able to whenever drawers are closed. So that being said, I am going to work hard on the other side to get that done, and then I'll have the back wall, which will have a little tiny cabinet up over here, and then a full wall of shelves on one side, and it's gonna look pretty good. So let me get to work here. It's probably gonna take another week, and then I will bring you back for the final reveal. I've had some pretty good help during this whole process. Are you helping out? Yeah? Yeah. It's taken every bit of 4 days to get this done, and I have 2 things left. My wife has picked out these blue and white knobs, and so I am going to go along here and install these on all of the drawers. The knobs are a little bit low profile, but I think they're going to do just fine. I've actually got one installed over here just as a test run, and it seems to work out pretty good, so I like it. Definitely not the color I would have chosen, but it's going to be okay. The color that they give you is just a plain, ordinary, cheap silver, and that would work just fine. Okay, the other thing that I have to do is connect the wall side here with the back wall. And so there's a little plate that goes between that there. And they sent, I think, a 14-inch, and I may have to actually go through and cut it down, put new cam lock holes. Anyway, we'll see what we get into when we get to that. Thought I would show you how I'm doing this real quick. One really nice thing about this closet system is that they have the 3 holes back here on the back. So if you're doing a double handle or a single, then you can just pick the holes you need and drill through. So I've got a 3/16 bit here. I'm just lining up with that first hole and come out here, and there we go. That's the hole I need. And now I can take the knob and just stick it into that hole. And then on the back side I've got a little washer and then this tiny nut. The knobs all look great on this side. I got these all done as well. Oh, hello sir. How are you? Yeah, you're gonna try it out? See if you can open that. See? Burp, burp. Yeah. Anyway, so I opened up the box here with the little bridge shelves, and it looks like they are supposed to bridge the gap here, and then you use this hardware to install it. So I need to measure the different sides here and make sure I have it right. Go out to the table saw and cut that down. Same thing over here. And I'll come back if I get this cut right, and I will install it while you're watching. I'm a little bit at an angle because I got my cabinet in the back off a little bit. Anyway, I'll make it fit. But you're supposed to use these little brackets here to span this gap. And you do it on the 4 corners. And I'll just have to do the best I can with that weird angle there. I wonder if that's gonna look bad. Maybe. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave these off. And if it bothers my wife, then we'll put it back on. But for now, let's just forget about them. It's taken about 4 days, but the closet system is in. I like it a lot. I haven't talked to Ashley yet to see what she thinks, but I think she's going to like it. Let's go ahead and give you the big reveal. As I was going along, I had a couple of issues that I want to point out. The whole system is designed to use these brackets here as the support, and some of them are 19 inches, like this one, and they were not going to hit a stud. And so I had to get creative, and I used that OSB, cut it to 4 inches, and just made a rail system along the top. And that worked out well, except for times like this last cabinet, where there was no stud again, and I had to kind of use, let's see, that screw there is in a stud, and from there on out was nothing. So this whole piece is being supported by the stud that is right there, and I had to come out over here, as you can see, and find the stud. It was close, but not quite there. And I accidentally brought this up too high, which looks terrible. But I did not feel like pulling all this back down to move this down about an inch. So we're just gonna put clothes in front of that and call it good. Other mistakes, I should have started off with clamps on this. As you can see, it's got a bit of a gap. But what I can do is come back with some screws like I did right here. So I've got this screw, which brings this together and prevents it from having that gap. So places like this, I probably should do that again. But other than that, the only mistake I really made in this build was I'm a touch off on that height there and a bit more here. So this cabinet is about a ½ inch higher than the rest of this. My 30-pound kid was hanging on the clothes rack, so that's nice and secure. The knobs that my wife picked out are functional, and I hope they look good. And this is a little bit smaller than what I'm used to, but it's gonna be fine. I'm actually going to go through my clothes and reduce the some of the stuff I've got. So those look good. Now, I probably could have lowered all of this down a little bit. It recommended that I put it where it is for the height, but looking down here, it is at 14 inches and probably could have been more like 10 or 12. Oh yeah, and this cabinet here, or this drawer, had this little defect there. But anyway, so my wife might have a hard time reaching these upper racks, but she may just have to get a stool and live with it. I had a lot of help in this project and it went well. I don't have a coupon code for you. I sent several emails to Modular Closets and never got a reply. And so I don't have anything, any discounts to give you. The price of this, we paid $3,000. It was a deal they had for Cyber Monday. So this stuff is rather expensive, and we had saved up for this project for a while. But if you want to check out Modular Closets, I have a link in the description down below. It's not an affiliate link, it's just what we use. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. You want to say bye? Bye.